all alone on the internet, but you don't seem to forget about yourself.
We do have to stop meeting like this, Matthew. Right guys, welcome down to the Quest for the Open vlog this week. And you find us on this beautiful morning here at Conway Golf Club. I've got myself and the puddle hopping Matt Fryer, and we're just doing a few videos down here, getting a full course vlog done over the 18 holes. And just doing a few stats as well. Not playing that great, to be honest, but after the last week I've had, I'm just trying to ease myself back into it. Matt's played some very good golf, and
I've been very bipolar on the golf today.
Oh my word, the best shot you will have seen this year so far in any vlog. Unbelievable. Stay tuned for that. It's on the final part of the vlog on my channel, and honestly, just awesome. Absolutely awesome. And hopefully I would have found some old drone footage that I had at Conway. Don't have it with me here today, unfortunately, but
it'll make it seem so sunny.
Oh god, it was so sunny. But I do love it here. It's fantastic course, in great nick, but we've got to come this far out to actually find a course that's playable at the moment, because Manchester is soaked, absolutely soaked. Good morning. So I've popped down to Withington this morning. I'm going to get some on-course filming done, but I wanted just to show you this. I've just had a meeting with the guys at Holmore Putts. Now this is a tablet, and it's an incredible bit of kit. So if you can see here, this putting board, it basically measures in this version on the user app. So it measures face angle, impact location, the path that impacts, and lots of other fun and funky stuff. And I'm going to have a bit of a play with this just to get the data and just to analyse it a little bit. But early tested on this, it's really cool, because if you're going to get a launch monitor for your putting, TrackMan, GC Quad and others are starting to move into this market. But at the moment you've got Sam Lab, you've got Quintex, stuff like this. This is $495, I think they were saying, but it's just under 500 quid. And it measures pretty much all those aspects. So it's going to be interesting to see if it is as good as I think it could be. I'm going to be really interested in this. So I'm going to have a bit of a practice on this. I'm going to have a little bit of analyse on this, do it back at home. I'm going to go out, do some scramble tests today, and also just do a bit of on-course filming.
Right, you join me back at home for the full comprehensive review of the Holmore Putts tablet. So the guys at Holmore Putts basically met me at Withington yesterday, and they dropped this off to me. I emailed them and asked if I could have a unit, basically just to give it a test out and just to have a see, because with launch monitors, especially with putter launch monitors, they are very expensive. So generally golf launch monitors for a consumer, for your average handicap golfer, if they were to buy, say, one of the top range ones, or a FlyScope, a TrackMan, a GC Quad, they're a lot of money. They're a lot of money. You're generally ranging anywhere between 10 grand upwards to 20 grand, depending on things like simulators as well. It's a lot of money. And when you start to get into the Sam Lab and stuff like that, we're also talking thousands and thousands of pounds. Now this one is just under 500 quid. Now for a personal launch monitor, that isn't actually too bad. However, I do understand that spending 500 quid on something which is just going to track your putting, it could put a few people off. So first thing to say, if you're going to spend that much money on a launch monitor, then how it looks and how it presented is important. It's got a very Apple type of feel to it, if that makes sense. So probably the white does help on the box, but the actual quality of the box as well is also very good. I'll show you that in a second. But the quality of the box is very good. The unit sits in there really nicely as well. It's got all the charging cables and everything all in there as well. So overall, it feels like a premium product. So in the box you get the unit, which is this size. I don't know the correct size. It's got the footprint of about a shoebox is probably the best way of describing it. And all these sensors here, they're all infrared sensors. So that's how this works. Now, when you take the putter back and when you take the putter through, it's something ridiculous, like thousands and thousands of infrared beams that shine up. And the way they were explaining it, there's basically a load of sensors in here. So the way this is designed to work, ball goes in the middle and you hit 5 putts. Now 5 putts counts as a set. Now you need 25 putts in total, so 5 sets, to get an average of what your putter is doing throughout the point of impact. And I'll throw up the stats in a moment. But this sits on the green. It's basically measured best at between a 6 and an 8 foot putt, the guys were saying, and you can go to a target or you don't need to go to a target. I actually preferred this when I was hitting to a target rather than just concentrating on my stroke, because at the end of the day, when you're on the green, when you're putting, you want to be going to a target. You know, at the end of the day, it's a target-driven sport. You want to be practicing to a target, and that's how I felt it worked best. But they were saying if you want to use it either way, that's fine. Now, within the box, you get some of these little bad boys. Now, these are strips which go along the bottom of the putter. Now, in a clear daylight situation, if you have a light coloured putter, so a silver putter, it shouldn't make any difference. But the bottom of my putter, my ping is quite dark. So they were saying having this on the bottom helps pick up the sensors a little bit easier. I have not had chance yet to test it without these. I've got an inkling that testing it without these, it probably would produce quite similar results the way that they were talking. I think they gave me these just to be on the safe side. They were also saying that inside, if it's a consistent amount of light in the room, then it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're using fluorescent tubes, that can interfere with the wavelength of the infrared light. However, most people, they're not using fluorescent tubes. And certainly in a studio environment that I'd be using this, we have LED lights, which should actually not interfere with it too much. But again, this is something that I do need to test out a little bit more. Now, as mentioned, this gives you certain data sets. So I'm going to pull up one of the data sets here. It's basically measuring face angle, impact point, path, speed, and angle of attack. Now, all these things when I'm coaching, if I'm doing a putting lesson, this is the info that I want to see. There's other stuff within this device that can be unlocked, but I don't think that they're going to be releasing it all at once. I've got the impression that they're going to be doing a stage release over certain amounts of technology that's yet to be unlocked within this tablet, such as face closure rate, opening and closing of that putter throughout the stroke. So I think there's a little bit more to come as far as that's concerned. As far as the usability of the app and the tablet, that is actually, I think, one of the big plus points for this. It's super simple. The Bluetooth connectivity through the app to the tablet, very, very simple to use. And it doesn't seem to drain my battery much at all on my phone either. So that aspect of it is actually really good. This is one thing I was really impressed about, just the speed of which it works. Now you can see here you can review putts individually. Now this is one of my last data sets and I had a score of 97.3%, so obviously very, very high. And you can see here one of the discrepancies that it had with these putts was my attack angle. So my angle of attack increased in relation to what my first 3 putts were doing. So that's what that discrepancy is, and that's why it gave me a score of 60% overall. You can see my face angle, impact point, path, all the rest of it, a very high score, because all of those things were very, very close to the centre as far as impact location was concerned, and path and all the rest of it was very consistent as well. Now also, if you exit out of this, you can see that my first set was at 61%. This was basically me testing out certain impact points on the putter, so my stroke was a little bit more erratic, so that's why that's down low. Then my other 4 sets, that's when I was really focused. But what's also quite interesting about this, you can go on the detailed diagnosis, and this tells you what to work on. If your angle of attack continues to be poor, check ball position, so it's given a few instructional points. And then if you click on this instruction button at the bottom, all of a sudden it then comes up with particular tips that you could be using. Now bear in mind, this is a consumer facing product, so this is aimed at a golfer buying it, not so much a coach. However, as I was chatting through with the guys, this is something which a lot of coaches are interested in. Obviously, it's a very simple device to use, and just sticking it down in the studio, putting it down on the green, it's going to give you data that you can't get from video, and that you'll be spending a lot more money on if you're actually going to get a SamLab. So I think that the average consumer buying this product, I'm really not sure. Please comment below, let us know what you think. Is this something that you would invest in? I think this is going to be much more popular with coaches who don't want to spend the amount of money that it takes to get a SamLab in or a Quintec, because this gives good information. And on early on early testing seems to give pretty consistent information as well. Now, how this measures the results in relation to a SAM lab is different because it's infrared, but I have to say I'm pretty impressed. Right guys, comment below, let me know what you think. I think the main sticking point for most people, as with all things really, is going to be price. However, please bear in mind this is a launch monitor, and as a launch monitor, you know, they're not designed to be the cheapest things in the world. There's a lot of technology which has gone into this. So if you're going to spend the money on getting that data, would you rather spend it on this? Would you rather spend it on lessons? Would you be more likely to go to an instructor that has this as opposed to someone who doesn't have this or has other putter technology? I'd be really interested to know, so please comment. The only other thing to say, guys, before you go is there's a bell icon on my channel which gives you notifications on whether I've posted a video. I think YouTube have changed their algorithms a little bit because I've had a few people actually telling me that my notifications aren't showing when I actually release a video. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that bell and you'll get notifications of when I post videos. Right guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms as well. And we'll see you down here next time. Let's get editing.